Okay, let's get things rolling. Very good morning to you all from rather gloomy California. It is obviously a very tough time for all of us right now. We're all working from home, and today is the very first ever Meraki Quarterly as a work from home edition. All the presenters today, of course, are in that situation, so we'll have all kinds of variable audio qualities and technical fun to play with, I'm sure, in the next hour. But we're going to do our very best to bring you the Meraki Quarterly you know and love. This is, I think, goodness me, we're in the third year we've been doing these, and obviously they're a super successful series. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We know that everybody out there is having a tough time, various different challenges, be they technical, be they kids at home making lots of noise in the background while we're trying to do some work. We're all working through this together. That's the great thing about it. It's a leveler. But the great thing we want to try and do today for you is give you that sense of business as usual from Meraki. So we are going to get things get things up and running very shortly. And we're going to start it off by having a look at a photo contest that we ran on the Meraki community site. That's community.meraki.com if you're not already on there. And so we ran a little contest on there. We wanted to have some submissions for some of the work from home reality that you're all experiencing right now in this crazy world we're in right now. So let's have a look at the submissions that we actually got the highest votes. All right, so from the community side of things, Julian got the winning vote there. What looks like, what is that? So Donkey Kong, some kind of computer game, platform game, where you can win some prizes as you go up there. And on the Meraki side, well, who can resist a puppy? Oh no, it's a kitten. I need to change my glasses. It's early, folks, on the West Coast. Okay, so these are the submissions that we had, and we really love these. Thank you so much for sending them in. It's a proof positive that you can use Meraki technology for all kinds of things, including keeping your pets warm. We have a special mention as well on the next one. We want to call out as well. So an honorable mention for Meraki and at SAS, another cute puppy, and some Meraki gnomes. I'm sure some of you got Meraki gnomes out there. They're obviously very limited edition at this time, and we did quite a few years ago. We must get those rebooted again. If you've got a Meraki gnome, maybe let us know in the Q&A panel which one you have. Okay, let's get things moving on the serious front now. We'll get on to the next slide, please. And we're going to have a look at the what is the Meraki Quarterly all about. So most important thing I want to point out for you here is that we are joined by a very illustrious group of product marketers and product managers who are here to help us go through what has been happening with the Meraki products and features over the past calendar quarter, so the first 3 months of this year. So we typically run this for established Meraki customers and partners. That doesn't mean you can't get anything out of it if you're brand new to Meraki, but you may find the pace is a little fast if you are completely new to what we have to offer you. We do run a series of introductory webinars, so if you are new to Meraki, we'd be very happy to welcome you onto those. Take a look on our website, you'll find those pretty easily. I want to stress, as we always do at the beginning of the Meraki Quarterly, that this is a retrospective. That word means that we're looking back over what we've been doing in the past over the last quarter. That means it's a roadmap-free zone. And so you can expect us to liberally ignore all of the questions that you're bound to ask us in the Q&A about what we're doing next. This is a roadmap-free webinar, but obviously we'll do our very best to bring you the very latest information that we absolutely can share with you. And I know everybody on the team that's going to present today is excited to do exactly that. So we are recording this webinar. We obviously want to make sure you get a chance to revise it again, share it with your friends, however you like to use it. But of course, it's a great piece of content usually, and so you can come back and look at that anytime. We'll have that online on our YouTube channel in a day or two. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A tab in WebEx, and our team is online throughout this session, so we'll do our best to answer those questions for you in real time. Like I said, roadmap questions are generally ignored, so please do make sure that they're focused on the content that we're presenting to you today. And we don't offer any free gear for this webinar. We've got plenty of webinars that do that, and so do make sure you take a look on our website. We'd be super happy to get some gear into your hands so you can try Meraki for yourself. And with that, I'm going to hand over to the first presenter today. That's Imran, who's going to take us through an update on security and SD-WAN.
Good morning, everybody, or perhaps even good afternoon or good evening, depending on your time zone right now and where you are in the world. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to be taking us through a quick update, what we've got going on security and SD-WAN over the past 3 months. So first, it would be remiss not to mention the current situation we're going through and the huge spike in demand naturally that we've seen that is about remote working. So just a bit of a reminder that MX is really a great solution for enabling that remote working in really double quick time and very simple. On top of that, with the resources that employees do use nowadays being very much so cloud-based, or even using resources that are in a data center back at the HQ or a standalone data center, auto VPN is king here. So establish that connectivity, secure connectivity back to your regular location. And then we also have the ability for providing IT teams the remote capability of tracking how experience of applications is coming across to clients. Same SSID that employees would connect to at the office is being broadcast at home with an MX or Z3 device at that location. So basically, this is the closest we can get to the same experience as being at the office for the employee. There's no need for any training required for, in most instances, the non-IT employee that's going to be at home. Simply plug the device in, same as they would a vacuum cleaner, and that's it. They now have access to all corporate resources and VoIP telephony as they would if they were at the office location. We are running and have got on-demand webinars if you want to find out more details around how we can help with this remote working environment we find ourselves in. So given the current circumstances, client VPN has been really a very, very significant thing for most organizations. We are not immune to that. And so, we have actually worked with our engineering teams to react to this and deliver to our customers some much needed functionality at very short notice. So given the reliance on most organizations on client VPN connectivity, our organization even, for our dashboard, for those of you that are familiar with the Meraki dashboard, go to the clients page, and before this situation kicked off, we would expect most clients to be on our network from the office location. Now it's a kind of a 180 of that, where the vast majority of traffic that we see through the MX devices is actually coming from VPN clients. And we had a lot of customers working with us and the engineering teams to find out and properly understand and get visibility of all these VPN clients. So I'm very pleased to say that we are, and this is available now today, or as of last week, in fact, you have the ability to go ahead and filter all VPN clients from your clients list to really understand and hone in on your troubleshooting to just those VPN clients. There is also, naturally, with this many folks trying to set up VPN, there are more naturally questions around how to set it up. So we have also included within the dashboard itself frequently asked questions and guidance on how best practices to set up client VPN. There is an additional resource that I'm hoping most folks online are familiar with, kb.meraki.com. We have a lot of articles down, obviously, how to set Meraki gear up, best practices. And so I'd encourage everybody to check that out. We have a more comprehensive remote working guidance and setup on kb.meraki.com. I'd encourage you all to take a look at. I did also want to point out, this isn't something brand new, but I think with the level of questions that we've been getting, probably not so well known, that we do have Umbrella DNS integration available on the Meraki MX. And for those of you who have tested or had tested in the past the DNS integration on MR, when it was the API key as opposed to the SKU that's available right now, it is very, very similar. So all you need to do to go ahead and enable this, give Meraki support a call. They will enable this for you. It's a very quick thing. You can do it on a per network basis. Full details, again, are available for this integration on kb.meraki.com. You do require the need to run beta firmware, but you can do this on a network by network basis. So it doesn't have to be across all of your estate. You can have it on per MX devices. So next is myself again. So I'm going to be giving a quick update on Meraki Insight. So the big news out of Meraki Insight here is VoIP Health is now in GA. I'm very pleased to announce. For those of you who are wondering what VoIP Health might be, well, there's no doubt that most organizations now are reliant and heavy users of some sort of cloud-based VoIP service, Skype, WebEx, those sorts of instances, and having those perform at their optimum is a necessity for most. So what we're now able to do is, regardless of your link, you can go ahead and track your cloud-based VoIP servers and the performance over any and all links that you might have. So this works by ping, ICMP pings, active pings, and you can then get an understanding of how that VoIP service is performing. So it'll take a look at the IP of that service. So the advantage here is you can actually go ahead and set this up even if you aren't running that service yet. You may be going through a POC, or you may be considering it. So for example, you may be considering something to put into place, or you may be probably considering multiple vendors. You can go ahead and set those up in VoIP Health here, track them over the next month, 2 months, whatever it might be, and see which ones are performing best for you and the links that you have available. Some ideal use cases here, again, distributed environments, office locations. Again, with remote working such a thing now, it's even more important. So this does extend to anybody with an MX or Z device. So the Meraki Insight license is able to be applied on all available MX models and also Z3 devices. So this is extremely simple, straightforward to set up. So the screenshot you see on your left-hand side there, that's really how you go ahead and set it up. You put in your VoIP provider's name. In this instance, we have WebEx, and then go ahead and tap in your VoIP server address. So for us, it would be ciscowebex.com. And in a lot of instances, there may be more than one server that it's calling back to, and you can very easily have more than one server for any given provider. Once that's added, it's then going to track how that's performing across all available MX links. And you then have detailed analysis of MOS score of that application over any given period of time, loss, latency, jitter. And so you can get a clear understanding over a period of time how that service is performing for you. And then we have some detailed diagnostics as well. So if you do, for example, suspect any issues, or in fact, VoIP Health has notified you of some or brought to your attention some issues, you can go ahead and actually do a hop-by-hop analysis. So from your MX appliance to your ISP, so the router that your ISP might have, over across to the internet, and then the VoIP service itself, so the server, and you can see all the detailed hops that you need to go through to actually get to that VoIP server. So on the right-hand side, you can see the detail there, and it will actually show you exactly where the degradation or degradations lie. So you can go and pinpoint exactly where the fault may lie.
Perfect. So first and foremost, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you all so much for joining today. My name is Tony Carmichael, and I'm the product manager for our API as well as developer platforms here at Meraki. Today, we'd like to talk about a variety of different updates we've seen over the course of the last quarter, starting out with a really high volume of new enhancements, features, and capabilities that our team's released over the past 3 months. We're super excited just because of the volume of feedback we've gotten from customers that everything we're doing in this arena is exactly what our customers, partners, and of course developers are looking for. In addition to that, we've sort of gotten a little bit better about packaging up these releases. So we now have a quarterly cadence within which, or excuse me, monthly cadence within which we release new features. And you can see a quick screenshot. We do announce these both within the dashboard UI. If you want to get a bit meta, a lot of our developers don't necessarily go to the user interface. So we also, of course, update our developer portal. A lot of these contain a series of configuration coverage enhancements, ability to set up and configure all of the products within the Meraki dashboard. A couple of things worth calling out are some monitoring endpoints as well. So we released the switch ports monitoring endpoint. This allows for developers to go in and pull what is the current status of my switches across their entire install base. Very powerful endpoint. And it's designed so that you can do this across every single switch in your environment. That's also great if you're designing your own front end or user experiences, third party as well. And then we were very excited to see with the release and announce of the Meraki MG, that product was the first brand new product introduction to the world that had effectively complete coverage when it comes to API, which is a commitment we made to our customers and developers. It was really cool to see that product get released with concurrent API coverage. So you can see, if you pay attention to that dashboard version 7 release, loads of new endpoints covering the Meraki Cellular Gateway product. Now, if you're interested in looking at what's new, you see the link there at the bottom, meraki.io, what's new. All of the details on our release notes per API are available there. The other announcement we made actually technically in Q4 of last year, but we do want to mention again, is that we opened up our developer early access program. We're incredibly excited at the interactions we've seen to date, and we're actually gearing up with a variety of new ways that we're interacting with that community as we get ready for a next major release of the Meraki REST API or Dashboard API version 1. We'll be doing a series of AMA and other interactions there so that we can get early feedback from all of our developers out there in the world. We're already up to over 300 participants as part of that community. If you're interested in joining, we do have an application. This is just to get a few terms and conditions in place because this is a very open community where we share roadmap and what's coming, as well as early preview access to our technologies. Now, our product marketing team and the marketing group in general has been really participating a lot as it pertains to the Meraki podcast channel. So if this is the first you're hearing of this, quick shameless plug, check out Meraki Unboxed. It's available through all of the ways that you subscribe to podcasts. We've got some really awesome new episodes there that are part of the Meraki API and developer ecosystem world. We had a really, really popular one, episode 18, on the API and technology partners, where we showcase and talk with one of our guest speakers from Armis, who's a really popular IoT and security product that slots right on top of the Meraki platform. And then episode 21 was all about captive portals and how those are being extended by a lot of our innovative technology partners, such as Flash Access, one of our most popular. So if you haven't checked out Meraki Unboxed, lots of episodes there talking about how our customers are solving real problems with either APIs and self-development, or of course our technology partner ecosystem. We also have had a series of both breadth of API-focused webinars that give you an introduction into programming and network programmability on top of the Meraki platform, as well as some really cool depth webinars around how our architects and engineers around the world are innovating. As you can see just from that screenshot there on the right, one of our principal architects, Corey, did a super cool deep dive tech talk on how he connects the dots using drag and drop programming with Node-RED, IBM's Node-RED, which is a super cool webinar that's available for you to watch at any time through the link below, and we'll drop that in the channel as well for those interested. And last but not least, a big announcement from Cisco is the complete new suite of developer certifications. This is, of course, this really cements this trend that we've all seen over the course of the last few years around the convergence of network operations, developer ops, DevOps, and IT management as a whole. And this is a complete parallel track to the traditional Cisco certifications, everything from your associate up to what's in development now, which is the equivalent of the CCIE for developers. If you want to learn more about what's available, there's tons of content delivered by our partners at DevNet. And our group has been directly involved in both helping draft and write the certifications themselves. But we've seen amazing amounts of individuals out there already getting certified. There's the program around the DevNet 500, which is the first 500 around the world who were able to get their associate certification. And there's a very significant portion of that certification exam that includes the Meraki technologies, which of course we're excited to enable all of you out there to learn about Meraki APIs. If you want to talk about this more, we have a section around in our Learning Hub within the Meraki community that I'd encourage you to check out. Lots of great content and great ways for you to interact with your peers around the world as well. Now, shifting over to the broader cloud suite of products here at Meraki, we did want to mention that we made an announcement. Given the current circumstances around the world, we made the decision to disable license enforcement. This is disablement period. It began on the 18th of March of this year. And we are in effect disabling the enforcement of licensing. This doesn't mean that licenses for your environments and organizations will stop their countdowns. However, we are disabling the enforcement of licenses expiring. So this is an important announcement. We're doing this really out of empathy. We want to make sure that all networks around the world continue to operate, and we do not want to have any impact or effects, especially given the almost additional dependencies that our customers, users, and individuals around the world have on the core network fabric. So if you want to learn a little bit more, there's a bit of a longer link here. We'll make sure to post this so that you can hot link to it. And you can find more about this within our documentation as well. And to round it out, we have, again, partnered with DevNet to provide further technical enablement for our customers, partners, and engineers around the world. We've got an incredibly comprehensive set of training that is happening around the globe. And just because of what's going on doesn't mean that we've stopped this. So we've virtualized the DevNet Express Meraki track. And this has become quickly one of the most popular, just given the amount of appetite to develop on Meraki's cloud APIs. So you can see here there's 3 in progress right now. In fact, Corey on our team is delivering content as we speak in Europe, and there's a variety more coming. This is a really great way, if you're interested in learning more about Meraki APIs, to drink from the fire hose, so to speak. So check this out. You can go to DevNet's website, developer.cisco.com, and sign up for an upcoming event near you. And to really close this out here, we'd like to do a call for beta testers. We've got an incredible new initiative here at Meraki around modernizing the Meraki mobile app. And you can see a really sweet eye candy example here just to see what that looks like. Hopefully that whets the appetite. If you want to check this out, iOS or Android, come one, come all. And we really are looking for feedback. There's a very simple, easy way to provide that feedback. Whether you're a network operator, network engineer, you're rolling trucks, you're managing networks, whatever it might be, it's a really, really modern and very, very sweet experience. I've been using it for a while now, and I'd encourage you all to join. There's a nice short link there at the bottom, cs.co/Meraki_mobile_FAQ for details. And with that, I would like to thank everyone, and I'll hand it off to the next presenter with Shilpi.
Thanks, Tony. Hello, everyone. My name is Shilpi, and I sit on our product marketing team here at Meraki. In our last quarterly, we spoke about the recently launched Meraki Cellular Gateway, MG, under our newest product line of wireless WAN. And today we'll talk about the new MG features. And before we go over that, let's have a quick recap of what is MG and what are the benefits. MG21 is a cellular gateway that transposes a wireless cellular signal to wired Ethernet for primary or failover connectivity. Now, MG is IP67 rated, which is great. It makes it suitable for outdoor use, and we can install it at a place known or tested for better cellular signal away from the network closet to get optimal performance. It's a simple product which is very easy to provision, and all we have to do is insert a SIM card from a supported carrier of our choice, power on the MG, and claim it in the dashboard to get started. And it's easy to scale too through the dashboard, as is the case with our other Meraki products that we are already familiar with. Now, depending on the existing network infrastructure of an organization and based on what could be the best fit for any particular business, there is a flexibility to choose whether to pair MG with Meraki MX, Cisco ISR, or any third-party router for that matter. And finally, MG is a step forward in bridging the digital divide, as MG could bring cellular connectivity to those areas without wired connections. And a while ago, Imran talked about how we are supporting the remote work situation given the current environment. So MG is definitely a great fit for spinning up temporary sites quickly. Now let's move on to the new and exciting feature additions. So earlier this year, we rolled out new dashboard features to increase visibility into what's really happening on the cellular network. Now, cellular troubleshooting does get challenging without any visibility into the signal characteristics at the site. By monitoring the signal strength and connectivity health, though, through stats like latency and loss, network diagnosis becomes much more quicker, and it could potentially save hours of troubleshooting. At the time of launch, we only had live cellular data available for MG, and now we have both live and historical data for signal strength and connectivity stats. Now, these new stats can be viewed as far as 30 days in the past, which is great. For more information on the benefits and how to access these features, you can always look up MG on our blog, and our latest post on MG is just about that. All right. This quarter, we also rolled out the new Meraki Dashboard API endpoints for MG. These new APIs listed up on the slides here allow us to kind of automate the network provisioning and bulk configurations. So it kind of helps us to minimize manual and routine tasks. And this is key for a quick and smooth MG deployment because repetitive configuration and monitoring tasks is extremely time-consuming and prone to error. These dashboard APIs could avoid manual error and at the same time reduce the overall management workload. And finally, similar to the dashboard templates for all of the Meraki products, we have the same option for MG as well for those of you who do want to take this route. The details of all the features we talked about today is available on documentation.meraki.com. Check it out if you like to. I know there was one question I see on the Q&A, which was earlier around availability of the API endpoint for latency. At this point, we are not able to share roadmap details, but thank you for your feedback, and we'll definitely consider it. With that, I'll pass the presentation over to Saralyn, who will take us through MV updates.
Thank you, Shilpi. So we do have a lot of slides to go through for MV, so I'm going to be going through them a bit quickly just to make sure that everyone has time to present their topics after me. And we did have a very busy quarter. All right, so one of the first things that we released back in January, right after our last quarterly, was an update to quality and retention configuration. So there's two pieces to this. First is profiles, and the second is APIs. So previously, you had to go through and manually configure your quality and retention settings for each camera, but we heard from a lot of you that you wanted an easier way to do this, especially if you had cameras that had or required similar settings. So to answer that, to make it easier for large deployments, we released quality and retention profiles. So there's a screenshot there you can see on the slide deck here, where you can see the profiles that have been created already. You can select them and add them to a camera or groups of cameras. And you can do the same thing via API as well if you want to configure them even more quickly programmatically outside of the dashboard as well. All right, and our next thing is jumping around, external stream sharing. So previously, you could share a video link with someone who had a dashboard login, and now with external stream sharing, you can share it with someone outside of the organization. So it's pretty simple to do. You select share and then the external stream. You can add in your the recipient's email, their name and description. Those are optional. We really just need the email if this is an urgent thing you need to get out, and they will receive a link in their email for them to access the view for that camera feed. Now, the stream shares are set to automatically expire within 24 hours, but they can be revoked at any time before that, and they can also be extended out in short increments if that event lasts longer. And as a counterpart to this, we also released video access logs. So video access logs lets you see who is accessing video, what they're doing with the video, whether they're viewing it, they're exporting it, a screenshot, and where they're actually doing it from, so the IP address from which they've logged in. So this helps you keep track of who is who's accessing video, and just ensuring that there are no issues with what people are doing with that video. We've also added external streams to this as well, even though that's not shown in the screenshot here. Okay, and this one is actually a pretty interesting one. So for those of you familiar with motion-based retention, what it does is enables you to extend the video storage. So we will always store the video for the most recent 72 hours. And after that, footage that contains no motion is deleted. But we heard from customers, and we even saw it ourselves, that sometimes there were areas of the scene that had constant motion that were making motion-based retention less effective. This could be from an always-on ceiling fan, or if you're outdoors, you have trees constantly blowing, or if it's taking up part of a street. So now you can select what areas you want to use for motion-based retention. And this could be areas like entrances and exits, high-value pieces of equipment, machinery. You can see here I selected the coffee machines in our office. And what will happen then is we will only look at motion that happens within those specific areas for the purposes of motion-based retention. So for a lot of customers, you're able to dramatically extend out the retention for important motion on your cameras with this feature. All right, and here's our second API update for this quarter. This is full frame snapshot. So the cameras actually have higher resolution sensors capable of recording in more than the 1080p that we record in, if you don't consider the X series. And with full frame snapshots, we're actually giving you the ability to do a full resolution 4 megapixel snapshot, regardless of the configured video quality settings that you're using. And this is available on live only via API. And these additional details that are found in the high-res snapshot actually has almost 2 times the details of 1080p, can be helpful for identification, improving the accuracy of results if you're using it with a third-party computer vision service. So there's a lot of cool applications for that. And again, live video only for this. All right, and I hinted at this the last one when I mentioned the X series. We launched 2 new camera models in February as well, the 22X and the 72X. This is an addition to the 22 and the 72. It's not replacing it. And there's a couple key differences here. One, they have 2 times the storage, so 512 gigabytes of storage as compared to 256 on the 22 and the 72. And this does 2 things. One, it allows you to store up to 90 days of 24/7 video at a lower resolution setting. Or if you're more concerned with higher resolution, more detail, these cameras actually support higher recording of up to 4 megapixels. And again, as we just mentioned, that's about 2 times the detail that you have in a 1080p resolution stream. Okay, and this one's kind of fun. This we released in February alongside the new cameras. The ability to do de-warped tiles for MV32 on a video wall. Previously, for video walls, you could only have that circular warped view for our fisheye cameras, and now you can actually select multiple points of view from a single fisheye camera and have it on a video wall. And there's a GIF here kind of showing what that looks like. So it makes it easier for people who are not adept at deciphering the kind of de-warped fisheye view and understanding what's going on a video wall. Thank you. Okay, and so the final things are just a few other general video wall improvements that we released to kind of clean things up and make it a little bit easier. The first one is permission-based video wall visibility. So this has to do with camera-only admins, and with camera-only admins, you can restrict the cameras that a specific user can view. So it can be cameras by name or by tag. But when they logged in, they would see video walls that had cameras that they did not have access to on them. So it would just be tabs with black tiles. With this, now they only see video walls that they have cameras or permission to see the cameras on. Secondly, if anyone goes and makes a change to a video wall, adders or removes the camera, rearranges it, renames it, those changes have been added and can now be tracked in the change log. And then finally, this is when you're viewing video. If you navigate between a video wall to an individual camera, there's timestamp synchronization now. So if you're viewing historically on a video wall, click onto the camera, it will go to that individual camera for that same timestamp. So that should make it easier if you're trying to investigate using the video wall. All right, and I believe that brings us to the end. So now I'll turn it over to Amelie with a Systems Manager update.
Thank you so much, Sarah Lynn. Hi, everyone. My name is Amelie, and I'm excited to talk a little bit more about Systems Manager and what we've been up to in the last couple months. All right, so one of the exciting things we've been working with is Cisco IT. Now, obviously, Cisco is a very large company, and their IT team is always busy supporting employees like us. And so what they've recently done is that they started deploying Systems Manager out for all Cisco employees. And really the end goal is to get about 60,000 different devices up and running with Systems Manager installed as the MDM of choice. And the reason why they started looking into Cisco Meraki for their MDM solution is to address the BYOD policy that we have in place at Cisco. And so for the end user, the experience is really seamless. If you're bringing your own personal device, employees at Cisco on board very easily. And so if you want to check out how Cisco IT deployed Systems Manager, please do check out Cisco and Cisco to read a very detailed blog on how they deployed it, why they chose Systems Manager, as well as what the experience was like for them. And in addition to all this, Cisco IT does share a lot of the values that they've learned from this experience. So if you were interested or were in the middle of thinking about an MDM solution for you, why not go ahead and check out that blog and learn a little bit more about Systems Manager and how Cisco IT did it. In addition to this, at Cisco Live US coming up in a couple weeks, that's now a virtual event, there will be a technical session on this specific deployment. So if you're interested, please tune in. Now, Meraki Trusted Access was released in December of last year, but the big update is that Android is now available in beta. So if you are already a Systems Manager customer, you should be able to see this on your dashboard. And to recap what Meraki Trusted Access is, it's a feature that allows personal devices, such as BYOD devices, to access business-sensitive data or business-sensitive applications without needing to install an MDM agent on that personal device. And this is something that I really want to reiterate because what we found from our early adopters is that that wasn't as clear as it should be. So just to make it extra clear, the reason why Meraki Trusted Access is such a valuable tool is because it gives you a secure connection to your business applications but giving the flexibility to an end user to not feel like they need an MDM agent managing their personal device. So if you have Android devices and you want to give this a whirl, please do try it out today. It's available. One thing to note about Android devices, because it works very differently from Mac OS and iOS devices, is even though you don't need the Systems Manager agent on the personal device, you still need an Android app, which is available on the Google Play Store. For those of you who have Windows devices, one thing to note is that we're still working on Windows devices for Meraki Trusted Access, and that will be coming in the future. And finally, the last update I wanted to give about Systems Manager, currently in beta, so this is a beta call for those of you interested, is our user enrollment with Apple. Now you can find more details on the community forum under Systems Manager. And what this feature allows you to do is it allows you to securely deliver business content to an end user's device while giving that end user protection to their own privacy and data. So as many of you may know, if you have an Apple device, you typically use your Apple ID to connect your device to the cloud. Now, for some of us, we want to maintain the privacy of that Apple ID, and so this feature addresses that by giving a managed Apple ID to contain your personal Apple ID. So it's really great. It gets flexibility while remaining secure. And one thing to note in addition to this feature is that systems cannot issue these MDM commands that you see here on the slide. So it's pretty awesome. So if you're interested in trying out, please go to the community forum. And otherwise, let's move on with David for a wireless update.
Thanks, Amelie. Hey, everybody. This is David from the Meraki Wireless Product Marketing Team, and we've got a few exciting updates over the last quarter on the wireless side. So last time during the Meraki Quarterly, we talked mostly about security updates like DNS security with Umbrella, as well as some IoT security updates. This time, we've got an exciting announcement. If you've been paying attention over the last few months, you've noticed that we have released a brand new set of Wi-Fi 6 access points. And these are the MR36, MR46, and MR56. If you're a regular reader of the Meraki blog, you'll also have noticed that these are all Wi-Fi 6 certified now. So all three of these APs have the key features of Wi-Fi 6 like OFDMA and MU-MIMO in both the uplink and downlink directions. Target wake time is also a key feature for battery savings of Wi-Fi 6 clients. But overall, if you're not familiar with Wi-Fi 6 or 802.11ax, in general, this new wireless standard allows you to support up to 4 times the capacity of the previous 802.11ac access points. And some of the clients can experience up to 75% lower latency. So really great for if you are experiencing VoIP-heavy environments, if you've got lots of wireless devices in an environment. Wi-Fi 6 will really help you have a really seamless experience over wireless. And if you've been also looking at some of the new clients coming out on the Wi-Fi 6 side, you've noticed that the newest iPhone has Wi-Fi 6, the newest Samsung flagship devices, and even more recently, the 2020 iPad Pro that was just announced is also another Wi-Fi 6 client. So a lot of these clients are entering the marketplace very quickly now, which is why we wanted to release a brand new set of APs. So with Wi-Fi 6 certification, we also get WPA3 security. For those of you who are interested in trying WPA3 security on the Meraki Wi-Fi 6 APs, you should be able to do that by calling into support and getting WPA3 enabled. So as Imran mentioned, many people are working from home nowadays. And I did want to bring this up. This is not a new feature, but just as a reminder, Meraki Wireless also has the ability to help you deliver a really seamless, secure, reliable connectivity experience for remote workers over a Meraki MR access point. So with that access point, you can tunnel a specific SSID to a Meraki MX securely. It's encrypted and allows you to access corporate resources. And so now you can work from home really productively on a secure SSID, even if your spouse and kids are in the next room streaming Netflix and social media on a separate SSID. So just as a reminder that that is available. So a few of the recommended Meraki wireless models for remote work. The MR33 provides you basic general coverage with wireless. If you want to be future-proofed and Wi-Fi 6 capable, the MR36 is able to offer that. And then the MR42 is a great option. It has 3 transmit and receive antennas if you want really great range and coverage. So another new update that we released over the last quarter is taking wireless health to the next level. So if you are familiar with wireless health, it allows you to quickly and proactively determine issues on your wireless network with just a few clicks. Well, now we have spread that capability throughout the entire Meraki product stack. So if you log into a client page today, what you'll see is an end-to-end view if you have Meraki switches, Meraki routers, where you can see all the way from the client and out to the application. And the reason that we did this is that a lot of research shows that 63% of users, when they have some sort of network issue, they tend to blame the wireless network, when oftentimes that issue could actually be lurking elsewhere. So with some of these new capabilities, it allows you to go in and say, hey, I can immediately see this is not a wireless issue. It's actually an upstream switch that is misconfigured or has some error. So you'll be able to see that now in the client page of the Meraki dashboard, really meant to help simplify your troubleshooting quite a bit. You can certainly read the Meraki blog for some examples there as well. And then finally, we do have a new podcast that just got released. Simon is on there talking to Scott. Both of them are working from home during the podcast. It's a fun one where they cover Wi-Fi Certified 6, remote work, this new Meraki Health feature beyond wireless, as well as a couple of roadmap sneak peeks. So definitely check out episode 22 of the Meraki Unboxed podcast. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Abhi to give you an update on switching.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. My name is Abhi. I work on the product marketing team for switches. Now that everybody has a lot of time on their hands, we have an exciting new webinar that did incredibly well and is extremely technical. It basically focuses on switching and primarily focuses on troubleshooting and assurance, which we feel is pretty timely given the new normal that we're all living in. So if you're interested in learning more about how you can use the Meraki dashboard to remotely troubleshoot and some of the other assurance features that are there, you can go on and check out this webinar. It's available on our website at meraki.com/webinars. This is available on demand, so you don't have to wait for another day to watch it. You can watch it at your convenience. And it's incredibly technical. It's an hour-long webinar, and we go into the nitty-gritty details on how you can troubleshoot your switching network. Piggybacking off on what David just announced, we launched some incredibly new Wi-Fi 6 certified APs. And if you're looking for a switch that goes well with this, then we also have the recently announced MS390. Now, the MS390 has full 48-port N-Gig and also has modular uplinks to meet the demands coming from your Wi-Fi 6 APs from high-density networks. So if you're looking at schools, healthcare, and other networks where there's a lot of data going through your networks, and you need a switch that does not become a bottleneck but actually helps funnel all of this data up, then I would highly encourage you to go and check out the MS390. It also has a bunch of other really powerful features. You can find information about all of this on our website. And with that, let's see who's up next on the roster. Well, we have Meredith with some updates on the Meraki community. Meredith, can you take it over?
Hello, everybody. Yes, thank you so much. My name is Meredith, and I'm just going to give a brief update on what's happening in our online forum, the Meraki community. So as many of my colleagues have addressed, many of us are navigating working remotely these days. And during that time, I think online connections to others are probably even more valuable than usual. So in the community, we wanted to infuse a bit of extra encouragement and fun by launching another points contest. So for the next 2 weeks, all community members earn points just for participating in community discussions. The more points you earn, the more chances you have to win some fantastic swag. This round, we've got all new community-themed swag to give away. You can see a fancy new sock here, as well as a grand prize of an MV32 with 5-year license. If you're not already a member, just go to community.meraki.com and register using your Cisco credentials. Next, we're super excited to announce the brand new Meraki Projects Gallery on the community. Here is a space where you can create posts sharing your work implementing Meraki solutions. Posts can include photos and even video to help illustrate your achievements for readers. Once submitted, your post can get likes and comments, which makes it a great way to share work that you're proud of, as well as get a little recognition from your peers while doing it. Also, see earlier points contest if you're looking for ideas on how to qualify. Sharing your story here would be a great way to get a head start. So just go to cs.co/Meraki projects. And that's it. Thank you very much. Back to you, Simon.
Thanks, Meredith. I'm so excited about the community. It's really come on so strong in the last couple of years, and some really good way to keep in touch with obviously your peers, but also with us at Meraki as well, to keep the questions and answers flowing as best we can in between these sessions. So just got a couple of announcements to do before we wrap up. We're almost at the top of the hour, so we'll go as quick as we can. First of all, I just want to remind you that we have a really great promotion in place right now. So if you are going ahead and purchasing Meraki gear, then you get an extra year. I love the way we've got the rhyme in here. This is great. Extra year with your Meraki gear. So make a purchase and you will, if for 3 years or more, and you'll get an extra year at no additional cost to you. So we're running that promotion through the end of July. So make sure you get moving on that if you want to take advantage of that one. And then Cisco Live. So obviously we were all super disappointed and saddened that Cisco Live, and like everything else, has had to go virtual. But we are definitely very excited that that's going to be going ahead online. So this is going to be a pretty major production. We're putting lots of effort in across the whole of Cisco right now to try and make sure we make that as exciting an opportunity for you as possible, give you as close as we can to that Cisco Live experience. So please go along to ciscolive.com. You'll be able to find details there. There'll be a lot more details coming as far as what the agenda is going to look like, what sessions you can sign up for. And I can promise you that people are working furiously across Cisco right now to try and pivot as quickly as possible to make this a great online experience. Okay, well, we were certainly going to get through some questions today, but we're almost at the top of the hour. I think we'll do things a little differently this time. We'll take a note of all the questions that you've sent in today, and we've had plenty, lots of roadmap, no surprise, but we'll do our best to get those questions answered for you after the session. So please do go back to recap this information. I know we cover a lot very quickly in the Meraki Quarterly. It's a challenge to do all of this in an hour. But if you go to our YouTube channel in a day or so, you'll find the recording for this one. So please feel free to recap that and contact us if you have any further questions you'd like to explore. So with that, I want to thank all the presenters today for their hard work. It's not easy to do this online. We're normally all sat around a table in the same room. But I think we just about got there. So I want to thank you all as well for attending today and taking time out. We wish you the very best. It's a challenging time for all of us. Hang in there, stay safe, and we hope to see you back on the next Meraki Quarterly. I think that's July. So have a great day, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.